Under scrutiny at the moment, a plan by the state to merge some of Florida's 20 judicial districts to possibly make prosecutions and trials more efficient. But since all involved in that process, the state's attorney, the public defenders, the judges, they're all elected by local voters, some suspect political motives, especially since the governor's removed Democratic state's attorney in 2 counties. Broward Circuit Judge Robert Lee is on that independent committee hearing input about the merge idea and is here in advance of the meeting this week. We have a meeting this week, do we not?
It's actually next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Welcome to the table.
Thank you very much. Thank you for asking me.
It's great to have you here. You're a judge. You're very diplomatic. You're very even-handed. You're very balanced. We're not getting political here, but I just want to, for anybody in our audience who's very engaged audience, that's not really in the weeds with what's happening, I just want to explain that the Speaker has, and the Supreme Court has convened you and your colleagues to look at merging the 20 districts here and there for efficiency.
Correct. We actually have a rule in place in Florida that requires this to be looked at every 7 years. Speaker Renner requested that we take a look at it, in particular to look at money-saving possibilities and efficiencies. And that gave rise to the Chief Justice's administrative order that he put together for the committee.
And so that's what you're doing on face value.
Right.
We had Republican Monroe State Attorney Dennis Ward here at the table not too long ago talking about why the Monroe very small district and Dade's monolithic huge district, the idea of merging that would be ridiculous for the Keys because of layers of issues trying to prosecute and defend and have a court system. But other than that, do you see an issue so far with what you've seen with the rest of the state? Well,
keep in mind, MiamiDade and Monroe are an interesting example because they are the smallest number of counties involved in a possible consolidation. The rest of the state is looking at many more counties where it's a possibility. So, but that being said, the furthest north courthouse in Miami-Dade, which is the North Dade Justice Center, if you actually compare that to Key West, you're looking at, on a good day, a drive of 4 hours and I think 170-something miles if they were consolidated. And you said to a judge in the North Dade Justice Center, by the way, we need you tomorrow to go to Key West because there's an emergency down there and we don't have anyone to handle.
So we're going to extrapolate. You think that's a bad idea?
Well,
that piece of
I think because we're asked to look at 21 different criteria, but at the same time, the counties in the northern part of the state have been doing this for decades because they have 4 and 5 counties, and in one of our circuits, there's 7 counties that have been together, and they've had to do this transportation issue for decades. So they look at it a little bit differently than perhaps we do in South Florida because we have very large populations and very geographically small circuits.
Okay, so I want to get down to the committee meetings you've had so far. You've asked for input.
Correct.
And you've gotten a flood of input.
A flood of input.
And all but maybe a few, which were all state related, the ones I've seen, all but a few of this flood of input said something along the lines of, don't do this. Does that resonate with you in the committee?
Well, it has to resonate with us because that is one of the things we are bound to consider. We also have to consider each circuit's workload, how effective they are in getting their work done compared to their adjoining circuits. So I look at it like we are a jury that is gathering evidence, and we have to come up with 20 verdicts for each of our 20 circuits.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all. You can do for some and not for others.
Right, you could say, and I'm going to make up a 25th and 26th circuit since we don't have them here in Florida. You could say that we believe the 25th should merge with the 28th, but the 26th should stay where it is. You can have all those possibilities, but the question in reaching that verdict is, would that consolidation substantially improve, and those are the words in the rule, substantially improve the judicial process?
Have you gotten any feedback from anyone or an entity that is in favor of doing this, and why? Because what I'm hearing is if it's not broke, don't fix it. And so what are the proponents, as few as they may be, saying?
Okay, we've had a couple of things. The Budget Commission, which came back, the Trial Court Budget Commission came back with some numbers, and they actually also asked the judicial partners, and actually FHP, Florida Highway Patrol, said they would save substantial amounts of money by doing this. That was a minority view. We have had some of the counties in the smaller populated areas say, we don't have the resources that you have in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, where you have a veterans court, a mental health court, a DUI diversion program. It would be nice to have the advantage of some of those programs because our counties are so small, we don't have the population structure to support that. So we are seeing some of that issue being raised.
And so the committee that will recommend eventually now is meeting 3 more times.
3 more times.
And these meetings will be public.
They are public.
As the rest invited public input, but no one ever got to watch the sausage being made.
They were, 4 of them were public, you could zoom in, but you could not speak. Then we had 2 that you could zoom in and speak, and then we had 2 public hearings that were live. The 3 remaining are going to be, you may zoom in. I will say the email address is flcourts.gov.
I think we're going to put that on our website.
Okay, and that is
TV and website talking don't go so well.
But it's important to understand that if you try to zoom in that day, you probably won't be able to because they will send you, the link isn't posted, you have to ask for it because of things we have happen in the judicial system often. We have interlopers and inappropriate conduct. And so we want to make sure that only the people that are really interested get that.
The public square can get a little messy.
It can get a little messy, and we have actually had classes on dealing with how to deal with that as judges.
So, you know, I know you cannot and will not speak to the politics of it, but you acknowledge that there is a substantial number of people who think this might be a political move because the state has seen the governor remove 2 Democrat state's attorney.
I understand that. I mean, we hear a lot of that. I will say that this rule has been in place since before this gubernatorial administration. It was also in place before our current Chief Justice, I believe was even a member of the Florida Supreme Court. So the rule that says we have to do this every 7 years, this is just the first year where the speaker actually asked us, would you take a look at it?
And the first year that the state is experiencing this enormous push and pull between partisan forces. And so so you get to be much more in the spotlight than I think you probably planned.
Right.
So Judge Robert Lee, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
inviting me. Good luck on the
me.
committee. You keep in touch with us, and we have Miami-Dade's public defender is on the committee,
He
Carlos
sure is.
Martinez, and as we mentioned, Dennis Ward, the state attorney in Monroe County, is on the committee. We are well represented, and so we'll be watching what happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.